A man reaches out, his hand trembles, he touches the golden surface. In an instant, his body convulses. He collapses, lifeless, before anyone can scream. This is not fiction. This is not a movie scene. This is written in the oldest texts of humanity. The question that haunts us: what could kill a person with a single touch? The Ark of the Covenant, hidden for millennia, lost to history. Yet its legend persists. Archaeologists chase its shadow. Engineers study its design. Physicists analyze its properties. And what they discover, it defies every assumption we hold about the ancient world. Imagine a box, covered in gold, carrying the very voice of God, but also carrying death. Instant, unavoidable death. The biblical accounts are clear, explicit, terrifyingly detailed. Touch it, and you die. Today, we're not talking about faith. We're not discussing theology. We're examining the physical evidence, the engineering principles, the scientific theories that might explain the most lethal object in biblical history. Because beneath the sacred narrative, a different truth emerges, one that involves electricity, radiation, acoustic weapons, and electromagnetic fields, technologies we assume belonged only to our modern age. In the next minutes, you will learn why men fell dead at the Ark's touch, why entire cities suffered plagues when it arrived, why modern physicists compare it to a capacitor, why nuclear scientists whisper about radioactive materials, and why the Pentagon once studied ancient texts, searching for clues to advanced weaponry. If you've ever wondered whether our ancestors possessed knowledge we've only rediscovered, if you've questioned whether the supernatural might have a scientific explanation, stay with me, because what you're about to hear will challenge everything you thought you knew about the ancient world. The year is approximately 1010 BCE. King David orders the Ark transported to Jerusalem. The procession moves slowly, reverently. Oxen pull the cart carrying the sacred chest. Thousands watch in silence. Then, disaster strikes. The oxen stumble. The Ark tilts. A man named Uzzah, acting on pure instinct, reaches out to steady it. His palm touches the golden surface. His body jerks violently. He falls, dead before he hits the ground. No wound, no visible cause, just death. This is recorded in 2 Samuel 6, not as metaphor, not as parable, but as witnessed event. The text is clinical, precise. Uzzah touched the Ark. Uzzah died. The reaction was instantaneous. King David, terrified, refuses to move the Ark further. It stays in the house of Obed-Edom for 3 months. Only after elaborate precautions does David dare complete the journey. But Uzzah's death was not isolated. Centuries earlier, during the Battle of Aphek, Philistines capture the Ark. They celebrate. They parade it through their cities: Ashdod, Gath, Ekron, and then the horror begins. Tumors erupt on people's bodies. Rats infest the streets. Thousands die in agony. The Philistines, desperate, return the Ark to Israel with gold offerings, pleading for mercy. The plague stops only when the Ark is gone. Later, in Beth Shemesh, curious men open the Ark. They peer inside. Scripture records that 50,070 men die that day. The number is staggering. The cause unknown. The survivors never speak of what they saw. These accounts, they share common elements: immediate lethality, no physical combat, no weapon drawn, just proximity, contact, and death. For millennia, these stories were explained through divine wrath, God striking down the irreverent. But today, scientists ask a different question. What if there was a physical mechanism? What if the Ark was not just holy, but dangerous? The Ark's construction follows precise specifications. Given in Exodus 25, acacia wood, a dense, resinous material, overlaid completely in pure gold. inside and out. Dimensions: 2.5 cubits long, 1.5 cubits wide, 1.5 cubits high, approximately 4 feet by 2.5 feet by 2.5 feet. On top, two golden cherubim face each other, wings outstretched, touching beneath them, the mercy seat, solid gold, and inside the ark, the stone tablets of the 10 Commandments, Aaron's rod, a jar of manna. But here's where it gets interesting. In 1915, physicist Nikola Tesla examined these specifications. He recognized something. The design. It's identical to a Leyden jar, an ancient capacitor. 2 conductive layers, gold inside and gold outside, separated by an insulator. The acacia wood. This configuration, it stores electrical charge. Dr. Maurice Denis Papin, a French electrical engineer, calculated the potential voltage in the dry desert environment with constant friction from sandstorms, animal skin coverings, human movement. Static electricity would accumulate continuously, his estimate. Between 10,000 and 50,000 volts, enough to kill instantly, enough to explain Uzzah's death, enough to explain why only Levites, wearing specific linen garments and using wooden poles, could safely transport it. The poles, mentioned repeatedly in scripture, they were insulated carriers. They kept human flesh away from the conductive surface. The Levites never touched the ark directly. They carried it from a distance, always, without exception. Break this rule, and death followed. Not divine punishment, but electrocution. But electricity alone cannot explain everything. The plagues in Philistine cities, the tumors, the rats, the mass deaths, these symptoms, they match something else: radiation poisoning. In the 1950s, archaeologist David Hatcher Childress proposed a radical theory. The ark contained radioactive materials, perhaps uranium ore, perhaps thorium, substances known to ancient Egyptians, found in pyramid chambers. Consider the symptoms: skin lesions, tumors, rapid onset, mass casualties, nausea, hair loss. These are classic signs of acute radiation exposure. The ark's gold casing, it would act as partial shielding, but open it, peer inside without protection, and you expose yourself to lethal doses. This explains the Beth Shemesh incident. 50,070 men dead from looking inside. Dr. Louis Ginsberg, studying ancient Jewish texts, found references to the ark's glow. Witnesses described a luminescence emanating from between the cherubim. Some accounts mention warmth. Others speak of an audible hum. These details, overlooked for centuries, they match descriptions of radioactive materials, that eerie blue glow, the Cherenkov radiation, the heat from decay, the vibration from particle emission. The Philistines, when they returned the ark, they placed it on a cart with gold tumors and gold rats. Why gold? Ancient metallurgists knew gold was special. It didn't corrode, didn't tarnish, but they may have also observed that gold offered some protection against the ark's effects. Lead lining inside the gold could have provided radiation shielding, explaining why the ark itself remained intact, while everything around it suffered. But we're not done. There's a third theory, one that involves sound, acoustic weapons, infrasonic frequency. In 1998, Dr. Vladimir Gavreau accidentally discovered that low-frequency sound waves, below human hearing range, could cause organ damage, nausea, visual disturbances, even death. The symptoms, they appeared with no visible cause. Victims felt pressure in their chests, their hearts, irregular rhythms, and in severe cases, cardiac arrest. The ark's dimensions, they create a resonance chamber. The spacing between the cherubim, the hollow interior, the gold surfaces reflecting sound waves, strike it at the right frequency, and it becomes a weapon. The walls of Jericho, The famous biblical account, 7 priests carrying 7 trumpets, marching around the city for 7 days. Then, the walls collapse. Archaeological evidence confirms Jericho's walls fell, but not from siege, from something else. Acoustic resonance can shatter stone. Every material has a natural frequency. Hit that frequency with sufficient amplitude, and structural integrity fails. Modern militaries study this. Infrasonic weapons. Directed energy. The principle. It's ancient. The Ark, it may have been the first. A portable acoustic cannon, aimed by positioning, activated by sound. Devastating in its effects. And then, there's the electromagnetic theory, proposed by physicist George Sassoon. The Ark generated a powerful electromagnetic field. This field, it could induce hallucinations, the sensation of a presence, auditory phenomena. The voice of God, people standing near the Ark reported visions, heard commands, experienced overwhelming awe. These are documented effects of electromagnetic exposure. Magnetic fields interfere with neural activity. Temporal lobe stimulation creates spiritual experiences. The sense of the divine. Moses, speaking with God above the mercy seat. Perhaps he was experiencing electromagnetic induction, his brain responding to the field between the cherubim. Not metaphor, not mysticism, but physics. The Ark, it was a communication device, a transmitter and receiver, generating fields that altered consciousness, allowed information transfer, created the foundation of prophecy itself. All 4 theories, they share a common thread. The Ark was not merely symbolic, it was functional. Technology disguised as theology, ancient knowledge preserved in sacred ritual. Think about the precautions. Only specific people could approach. Only certain garments could be worn. Only wooden poles for carrying. Only specific distances to be maintained. These weren't arbitrary religious rules. They were safety protocols. The Levites, they were trained technicians, maintaining a device they didn't fully understand, following procedures handed down through generations. One mistake, one broken rule, and death followed. Not from divine anger, but from physical law. The priests, they were engineers. The tabernacle, a laboratory. The rituals, operating procedures. And the disappearance. The Ark vanished from history around 587 BCE, when Babylon destroyed Jerusalem. Some legends say it was hidden. Others claim it was taken to Ethiopia. Still others believe it was buried beneath the Temple Mount. But what if? What if it was deliberately decommissioned? What if those who understood its true nature realized the danger, realized the knowledge was too great, too deadly, and chose to hide it, not from enemies, but from humanity itself? Because here's the terrifying implication. If our ancestors possessed this technology, what else did they know? What other devices existed? What other knowledge was lost? The Antikythera mechanism, the Baghdad battery, the Dendera light, Pumapunku. These aren't anomalies. They're evidence of a pattern, a lost technological civilization. Knowledge that predates our assumptions about human progress. Maybe we've been asking the wrong questions. Maybe the issue isn't whether the Ark was real, but whether we're willing to accept what it represents. That history is not linear, that progress is not guaranteed, that civilizations rise and fall, and knowledge, precious knowledge, can be lost forever. The Ark remains missing, but its legend persists. And perhaps that's intentional. Perhaps some secrets, some technologies, some knowledge, they should stay hidden. Because humanity, we're not always ready, not always wise, not always safe with power we don't fully understand. The Ark killed with a touch. Imagine what else it could do. In the wrong hands, in our hands. So the question remains: ancient nuclear reactor, electromagnetic weapon, acoustic device, or divine artifact? Maybe the answer is all of them. Maybe the distinction we draw between science and spirituality, between technology and faith, maybe that distinction, it's false. Maybe the ancients understood something we've forgotten, that the universe operates on principles both physical and metaphysical, that matter and spirit, they're not separate, but intertwined. The Ark of the Covenant, it killed men, destroyed cities, carried the presence of God, and now it's gone, hidden somewhere, waiting, a weapon, a mystery, a warning from the past, reminding us that some knowledge comes with a terrible price, and some boxes, they should never, ever be opened.